Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the webinar today. We want to thank you all for joining us, and we have a great session today lined up for you. We're going to cover a few key topics. We're going to give you an update on Evo for UBS customers. We're going to highlight an upcoming addition to the product suite for UBS, and we're going to give you an update on e-invoicing. Particularly with phase 3 kicking off at the moment, and certainly customers in the phase 3 cohort looking at an update. If you just bear with us while we get the slides up on screen, and we'll get going. And what you saw was a little demonstration on what our AI engine that's now included in the Evo platform connected to UBS can do. And it enables me to do very quick and easy searching into the data that's stored in UBS without actually having to be in UBS. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that in detail as we go through. So we've got where it looks like we're good to go. So if we can jump through to the next slide. There we go. So why have we built Evo? So for many of you, you'll realise that UBS has been around for quite a number of years. It's a great product at doing what it does around accounting, inventory, billing, and other functional sets that it offers. But those of you who have been in business as long as I have, and you can tell by the grey hair, I've been here for a couple of years, you'll know that over time, the technology we use in business and at home has changed significantly. So with Evo, Access is making sure that we keep you, our customers, ahead of the next technology curve, which is going to be driven by AI. You don't need to worry about it, okay? It's not going to have a negative impact on you. It's not publicly open sourced AI. This is private and secure, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But if you've, again, if you're about my age bracket, you'll understand that there was a time when we didn't have an internet. The internet came along, and then because the internet allowed us to put loads of information out there, we had to build search engines. And then, there isn't many people in the world today who probably don't Google or something equivalent, right, to try and find some information. We then had sort of the social media disruption. So all of the social media engines came along, and we were able to share our photos, chat to friends, share what we had for breakfast, etc. And then technology, the hardware actually changed. So, we had the iPhone come along, which allowed me to not only make phone calls now, but, almost have a computer in my hand. We've seen payments change significantly over the last 10 to 15 years, where we went from having to write a check or have cash to be able to, card-based, PIN-based, to now being able to just tap and go with our phone. And most recently, only in the last couple of years, the AI revolution has kicked off. Most people will have had a look at or heard of ChatGPT now. And what we're going to focus on today is how we've taken this technology disruption, right, what is now available in the market, and how we've taken the positive business use cases for it and applied it to our software. So if we move forward to the next slide. Everybody's talking about AI in some way, shape or form today. And the reason they're talking about it is because it gives us the capability to do more work, okay, or the same work in a reduced amount of time. And it empowers us to do more value-adding work because it allows us to search loads and loads of data very quickly and get the answers we want back. So you saw from the video we showed earlier where, one of the accounts clerks using UBS was trying to get information about what happened in February. We could have logged into UBS, we could have generated a report or got the information up on screen, we could have typed that or cut and pasted into a spreadsheet, etc. But you saw in seconds how I can use Copilot and I can ask in plain English, what information I want, and Copilot can bring that data back very quickly. So this is not about, taking away the job of the accounts clerk. It's about taking away the mundane work that people do on their daily basis, allowing other people that are sending me emails, etc., asking me questions to give me data, to get that information for themselves where it's appropriate. So if we move forward to the next slide, we can talk about, just what percentage of businesses today are looking to investigate AI, apply AI, etc. And the most important thing is this will be a disruptive technology. And if your business isn't already thinking about what to do with AI and how you can do business better, your competitors are. So you don't want to be left behind. So Access made the decision a couple of years ago, and if we just jump to the next slide, to start to embed AI capabilities. And we have a strong relationship with Microsoft, so we've chosen to go down the Microsoft Copilot route. So Microsoft Copilot is an open AI and cognitive service that we've embedded into our Evo platform, and then we're taking each of our products and connecting them into the Evo world. So very shortly, you'll have the capability to move to UBS Evo and get a number of additional capabilities that UBS hasn't had in the past. If we jump forward to the next slide, what it will bring is the ability to accelerate what we do on a day-by-day basis, right? Per what I just mentioned. If I have to go, all of our UBS customers are on-premise customers, so the software is only available if I'm on a computer and connected in the office. What if I want to get that information while I'm out with a customer or I'm out with a supplier or we're off-site? Now you'll be able to do that, right? We're enabling that capability. We're giving you Copilot so I can search quickly and easily. We're giving you a mobile app, right? So you can search anywhere on that data and bring up information, share information, question it. We believe this will take away, like I say, a lot of the mundane tasks you do on a day-to-day basis. It will allow you to point people to become self-serving. So instead of people having to send the accounts clerk, the payroll clerk email saying, can you tell me, can you help me? What is our leave policy? What does this customer owe us? They will now be able to do that for themselves should you give them access to that information, right? Most importantly, we know that everyone has some level of concern and skepticism about AI. So if we jump to the next slide, the most important thing for us is the sanctity of your data. So we're delivering this in a private and secure way. Your data will only be available, right, if you choose to make it available. It will only be available to those people you choose to make it available to. They will only have access to information where you've given them permission to have access to that information. And you can be confident anything that you do using Copilot, our AI engine, is secure within your business. That data is not shared anywhere else. It's not available to anyone else. The questions you ask are not available to anyone else. It is all private and secure in your instance. And that privacy and security is very, very key to the way Access does business across all of our solutions. We've hosted solutions. We provide cloud-based solutions today, so we understand it in depth, and we pride ourselves on having extreme, high levels of privacy and security, and we've brought that with the AI capabilities that we're delivering. So if we jump to the next slide, I think we're going to talk about a little bit of an introduction to UBS. So we can step forward and let me talk you through it, and then we're going to show you a demonstration. So whether you're a business that deals in manufacturing, buying or selling stock, or you're a business that provides services, today, the only people who have access to UBS are usually your accounts people, maybe your payroll people if you use the payroll engine, etc. What Evo brings is the capability now to share that information across all those other people you can see in your business where it's applicable. So one of the examples I quite often use, if we have salespeople that talk to customers and maybe they go out and visit customers, wouldn't it be great if that salesperson in their hand on their mobile phone had the Access mobile app and they can get access to information about what that customer's buying, what that customer's account status is, do they owe me money, what did they buy last month? It can give me stock information. So how much stock do I have of this product? Further, there'll be capabilities in the Evo platform for you to even put product documentation, which Copilot can search within your own organization under that privacy and security. So if I've got a brand new salesperson I've brought into the business, I can put them out on the street tomorrow meeting customers with the Access mobile app, and they can be searching product data right, in their mobile phone, right, enabling them to be more productive. If I've got a finance manager that sends me emails all the time saying, what's the current AR outstanding balance? How much have we got in debt with this particular customer, etc. I can now give them the mobile app and empower them to search the information quickly and easily and self-serve. If we have a general manager or an owner of the business, they can also have that capability. So anyone in the business now, we can empower them and put the information in their hand to make better, faster decisions. So if we jump forward, what we're talking about here is giving more people in the business, people without a UBS license. We just move forward to the next slide. Thank you. We're going to give more people in their business the capability to do things, to act on that information, to find information, and most importantly, to do it on the go with the mobile app. So let's talk through each of those. If we move forward to the do slide, as we just touched on, the people today that can do things with UBS are the people who have a UBS license. And the vast majority of our customers have one or two people that have a login to UBS. But you'll have other people in your business that will be able to do more, having access to that information where appropriate. So we're now going to give you that capability, right? Leveraging the information in UBS. We have a learning management system that's part of the Evo platform, and we provide 10 free courses. So your people will be able to do training. We have courses on, things like phishing emails, how to train people to look out for a phishing email that might disrupt or impact my business. We can share files within the Evo platform, okay? And most importantly, we can connect across all the rest of the Access suite. If we move forward to the next one, we can find information. So you saw an example of Copilot earlier. I didn't need to know how the UBS data is structured. I could just use plain language questioning in Copilot. So I don't need to know whether, January is January or Jan or period one or whatever. I can just say, give me the February sales. We've done all the work to make sure that those tags in the system, the data labels, are all available to connect with what a normal question would be. So we can question the data, we can ask questions of business documentation, we can put our leave policy, we can put our expenses policy, our company manuals, and any other company documentation. Think about how many times a day you get an email from someone in the business saying, oh, can you just tell me where I go and find this information? Or can you tell me how many days leave I've got? Can you tell me when I need a doctor's certificate? All that information now can be enabled in the system so that everybody in the business can self-serve. Think about how much time every day you might be able to save in not having to read that email, find where the information is, respond to that email, and it might be a string of emails, right? So, we believe we can give you back minutes or hours a day in unrelated tasks to your role. If we jump to the next one, most importantly, we can also start to create alerts in the system through what we call Access Feed. So a feed is a little activity list or a to-do list, if you like. And within the system, we've got alerts set up there. So if there's a payroll that needs to be run, if there's a bill that needs to be paid, if there's stock that needs to be ordered, these alerts now can come up if there's leave to be approved, right? So we're going to talk about the fact that we're delivering now a leave capability in UBS in a minute. Those would all come up in my feed on my PC or my mobile saying, you have an action to take, right? So you don't have to go and find the things to do. UBS Evo will now start to tell you what needs to be done, right? So again, we can speed up the process. We can make sure things don't get forgotten or get acted on too late. And then if we move forward, as we've touched on a few times, we now have the Access mobile app and it's connected to UBS. So you can start to do data searching, you can start to get your to-do list, your feed list, all in your mobile app, right? And you can access to all the other Access products that are already mobile, like our Applause reward and recognition product, like our expense product, etc., will all be available now on the mobile, ready to go. And usually when I do these in front of people and you're all in the room, I'd ask people to put their hand up if you don't have a mobile phone. And generally speaking today, no one puts their hand up. Everybody's got a mobile phone, right? So now everybody in your business can be starting to do better, smarter business because we can enable them with the mobile application. If we jump forward to the next slide, I think we're about to head for a demo, but before we do that, right, are you ready for what Evo brings? Evo brings additional capabilities outside of the standard UBS product, right? Fully connected, fully private, fully secure to you and your business. The only people who can see your data are those people you enable and put onto the system, so you don't have to worry about privacy and security of data, and you can control who sees what information at all times, okay? So UBS Evo is a significantly enhanced product with the ability now to extend and enable everyone in your business to be better for you. So we're going to run a little video now that shows you some of the capabilities that UBS Evo will bring. Let's run the video.
So, UBS Evo overview. I'm going to talk through some of the areas that basically come with Evo. So there's analytics is one of the key areas, which is basically there's 14 dashboards, 86 insights and 7 shared views across your accounting, inventory, billing and payroll data from UBS. There's also the learning system, which includes product training and 10 standard courses. There is Applause, which is a reward and recognition tool, encouraging peer-to-peer recognition based on company values. There's Engage as well, which is the social feed, which allows workspace users to interact with your colleagues. Cool. So there are a number of dashboards available, like I said, and these cover the full breadth of the UBS data, and this is also the data that's available for you to query through Copilot as well. So they're across, those are the accounts payable dashboards. There's AR dashboards as well, which show you some information about your customers and outstanding balances, overdue aging reports. Some more sort of outstanding analysis type things. I mean, there's a lot of data that we have available and a lot of insights that are up there as well. You can create custom dashboards and insights too, or have a partner create those for you. If you're a partner, you can create them for your client. There's leave statistics as well. So those are some of the payroll dashboards that we have available. Payroll stats as well. So sort of some average wages, things like that. Workforce management. So that just gives you an idea about your workforce, sort of the average tenure, what kind of categories they fall into, new hires, people who have left, all that type of information as well. This is sort of around employee listings, work permits. I mean, there's a huge breadth of data that is available on these insights and dashboards, and that's available to you now through Copilot, which is what we've been using throughout this program, and also on the mobile app. So it allows you to share this data with other people throughout your business. And basically allows people to self-serve, saving your finance team time, your accounts team time, as they don't have to run all these reports for each of the individual people. So this is just a quick look at some of those extra apps that I spoke about earlier. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to have a play with them or a look at them while you've been in here, but basically we've got the Engage app, which is that social feed, which just allows you to make posts to your company, send messages, everything like that, and it's a really good way to drive engagement across your organisation. There's notice boards, so you can see there the bit that says welcome to a UBS Evo pilot. That's just a notice board that I created. It's a great way to share information across your business as well. We have Applause, which is a recognition tool, which is just it's a tool we use internally a lot, but it lets you send a shout out to someone. So if they've done a great job, you can basically select to send a shout. You can select the person, align it with company values or your business values, and basically send a little thanks. And this is really, really popular. It's a really great peer-to-peer sort of recognition tool, because it lets other people appreciate other people in your team for what they're doing as well. So that's Applause, which is a very popular app that's available as well with UBS Evo. You can send the feedback to the person's manager if you want to as well, and then you can basically send that and they'll get a little notification in their feed too, that they've got an Applause and that that you've helped them out with something. We also have the LMS Lite product as well. So that lets you find learning. There's a number of courses that come standard. There's courses on Access products, there's courses on Evo and things like that in there as well. And then there's a number of courses like this one here, sort of a phishing awareness course. So there's a lot of courses like that as well, and just general ones that people can do to help improve themselves and help them with their personal development as well. And once I've registered for a course, it'll show up on the My Learning, and that will basically allow me to go through and do that course whenever I'm ready to do that course. Awesome. So now, Copilot. So Copilot, you've all seen Copilot, you've all had a chance to spend some time working with Copilot. So it's an intuitive chat-based interface to your underlying products. It's powered by Microsoft OpenAI and privately hosted by Access to keep your data safe. So we're just going to have a little look at some of the scenarios that we've got basically for Copilot on the UBS data as well. So all the data that I spoke about earlier, that's available through Copilot. If you want people to have it, it's all full permission based as well. And this is where it really comes to life, because it allows everyone in your company to self-serve and ask those questions of the UBS data whenever they want. So some scenarios that this could possibly be used for, and these are some of the ones that we've covered throughout the program as well, is sort of data management. So what's the, AR outstanding by customer? And then I might take a look at this and say, oh, that one's quite high. I might want to send them a bit of a follow-up, get them to pay their bill. So I can basically select them. I can then ask what are the actual outstanding transactions for that customer. Copilot will go away and get that information for me. And previously this information was locked down, so only your core sort of UBS users would be able to access this, but now it can be spread wider throughout the business. So you can have salespeople chasing this, and they don't need access to the rest of the system or access to the UBS server. And it can all be done from mobile as well. Now that I've got my list of transactions, I can ask Copilot to write an email to chase that debt for me. And Copilot will go away and create that email for me as well, using all the information that it's pulled from the UBS data. And then when that email comes back, I can basically use the little copy button, copy paste it, and send it straight to that customer. And you can see that it's done a great job of including all the information that I might need to send in a sort of data chasing type letter as well. There are some other scenarios as well that you could use. So for example, if you wanted to find vendor details, if you've got people who are working with your vendors and your suppliers, and you might want to ask, which vendor has the highest outstanding balance, who do I owe the most to? Copilot can go away, again, seamlessly, easily, quickly get you this information and bring it back for you as well. You can then carry on to get more information as well. You could get the transactions. I haven't done that in this example. I've asked for sort of the phone number and the vendor address, I think. And again, if people in the business can access this quickly from anywhere, just imagine the time that'll save your accounts team. We've had some of our other customers on other products say that it's even faster than actually logging in. So it's potentially faster than actually logging into UBS, opening up reports, applying filters, and doing all of that. It's actually often potentially easier just to enter it straight through here and pull the information that you need directly from Copilot. Supplier email address, I could get it to draft an email for me. Yeah, the options of what you can do with the data are kind of endless, and that's some of the information that we'd love to get back to from you on the call today as well. Another scenario perhaps is a warehouse manager, so around items and what you have in stock. So you could ask something like what items are below the reorder level. And straight away, Copilot's going to go, it's going to check your details, and it's going to bring it back for you. Again, you don't need to run a report, you don't need to navigate through software to find the correct report and run it. And then with this one as well, you could draft an email to reorder these from the supplier. And it'll use the information that it's pulled from the UBS data, and it will go ahead and draft that email for us for basically a reorder of that. Just wait for that to finish off, coming up. But yes, please think about what other scenarios might apply for your business, or what of these 3 scenarios you think could add value, and whether it would save time, free up people that are sort of having to do admin or respond to questions that would be much better if other people could self-serve across the business. So this was another one of the areas that we sort of looked at. So this is Collaborate, which is a document sharing sort of task creation, sort of mini project management product really, that's available, that comes with UBS Evo. And there is essentially an option now where you can upload a document to here, and you can see there's a new tick box which basically says make available in Copilot. So that means you could upload potentially anything that contains information that people in your business might need to know. Again, we'll be asking for some ideas in a minute because the options really are endless. You can see in this example I've uploaded an expense policy. So if I go over to Copilot, go to Evo Docs and ask a question sort of, what's the mileage rate in our expense policy? It can go ahead and pull that for me directly. So as a person in the business, I don't need to go searching through files, through emails. I don't have to ask payroll or my manager or someone else. I can get the information straight away in Copilot. It'll even link me to the document as well. Another example I could ask sort of is what's our policy around travel expenses? What can I claim for travel expenses? And again, Copilot can go and just get that information for me instantly. So just imagine what that could look like if everything that everyone in your company needed to know was able to be stored sort of up in Collaborate. You could just use Copilot to access that straight away. I mean, we've talked about it internally, about all of our policies and procedure and information on our products, like everything. I mean, the options really are endless of what we could put up in there and how we could use it. And we think it's going to add real value as well. And it's all on the mobile app too. So yeah, don't forget about the mobile app. Everything's available on there as well. So mobile. This is where it all comes together. Copilot and Feed is the perfect interface for a mobile version of our software experience. And this is just game-changing, really, especially for products like UBS and some of the other products that we've made this available for. The ability to access everything that I've been through from your phone is just, it's game-changing for a lot of our customers and a lot of their employees. So simple things like, what were my sales in 2023, because demo data is a little bit older, but what were my sales this year? And then can you break them down for me by month? And obviously Copilot can do that very easily. And it will do that. And so imagine the power of being able to do this without having to actually, log on to UBS or call your finance team. I think someone said earlier, one of the great use cases would be if managers could, or senior leaders could self-serve rather than having to get people to give them the information. And this is what this lets them do. You can even draft an email to my sales team about the information that we've just pulled up on our phone from UBS. And that'll go ahead, and it does a really good job of drafting a really nice email. So that's another sort of scenario that you could use Copilot for. And then everything else that I've shown previously on the last couple of videos. So all of your supplier, your vendor supplier type ones, your customer ones, your product ones, payroll ones, and then obviously the Evo Docs one as well. So people can find out about your policies without needing a computer. So everyone's got a mobile phone, right, in their pocket. And so this enables everyone in your business to access this information, or whatever information you might need them to access that you've loaded up into Collaborate as well. And they can get that direct from their mobile phone easily and simply.
There hasn't been, significant amounts of, additional development around UBS. And in the last couple of years, we've worked really hard. So Irene, who will introduce in a minute to take you through some of the invoicing stuff, and the product team, some of them are on the call with us today, have worked really hard to bring things like Evo and connect UBS into the Evo world to extend the functional sets you've got available to you and what you can get out of it for the business. One of the things in the time I've been involved with UBS now for the last couple of years, those customers, a number of customers have been coming to us saying, what about leave management? You know, you do the accounting, you do the inventory, you do the billing, I might use your payroll, but I'd like to be able to manage leave. And it just so happens that we have a product that we've also got connected to the Evo platform that we can now, due to the fact that we've got it connected to Evo, we can bring it to our UBS customer base. So we have a product called Express Leave, and if we just jump to the next slide, we'll give you a quick introduction to it, okay, and how it's going to work. So this is just a quick little video about how the Express Leave product will work for our customers that want to enable it as part of their UBS Evo solution set. So you can manage leave approvals, you can use Copilot to investigate leave information, right? You know, who's got what sick leave days outstanding, annual leave days outstanding, etc. Who's taken the most sick leave in the last, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, whatever it might be. Yeah, so there's a whole heap of capabilities, right? And in your feed, the to-do list we talked about, you'll be getting things like, can you approve my leave, etc. And you can do all that on your PC or you can do it on your mobile phone. So the great thing about Express Leave already being part of the connected into the Evo platform, now we've got the UBS connected, we can open up so many more capabilities to our UBS customers. So with that, I'm going to say good morning to Irene, who's going to join us. There we go. And Irene's going to take over now and talk a little bit more about e-invoicing in particular. But Irene, was there anything you wanted to add about Express Leave? I mean, it's a huge advancement for our UBS customers now, coming up in the coming weeks when we will enable it and bring it to market to actually extend UBS even further. And UBS now with accounting, inventory, billing, payroll, and now leave management is becoming a little mini ERP system for our customers. And hopefully, if there's other things our customers are interested in, please let us know. We have, many products in Access that may be able to help you in your business. But if you don't let us know, we can't make the connection for you, right, and bring that available. So Irene, over to you, and let's give an update on e-invoicing in particular.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Evan. Good morning, everyone. So please do keep a lookout on when we will be releasing Express Leave, all right? So moving on, as you can see, we have shown you a lot about Evo, spanning over accounting, inventory, billing, and even payroll, right? But the hottest topic in town, not forgetting the request from our customers that comes to us, what about e-invoicing? If you can also have e-invoicing on Evo where they can actually ask questions, on the move, that would be perfect. And that is precisely what we have been working on. So this is actually fresh from the oven. We are sharing with you, taking opportunity of this session to share a bit on the little teaser that we have to give you an experience or a feel how this will be done. And of course, we look forward to your feedback to make this even better for you moving forward. All right. So can we have the video, please?
Now you can check the e-invoice details in the Copilot, but just key in the keyword. For my case now, I want to know the status of my consolidated e-invoice. So this is my questions. After the result is generated, you can also ask the Copilot to help you to draft you an email to your manager just to speed up your daily tasks with the content of the e-invoice. And Now just copy and paste to your email. Just send it over to your manager. This is how simple your task will be on e-invoicing with Evo Copilot. Thank you.
Demo just now was just to give you an idea. I'm sure a lot of business now still taking the advantage of the grace period provided by LHDN and using the console invoice feature, right? But when you talk about console invoice, there are a lot of other invoices that goes into one console invoice, and you may want to know what are the information without having to log into the system, go to the reporting there and find it out. So on the move, this is available also on mobile, where you can easily ask the questions, get the answer. And if you need somebody to follow up on action, copy the contents into the email and send it to the relevant party to execute. So can you see the momentum of your workflow? It moves faster, seamlessly, regardless of where you are, not necessarily in front of the system. All right. So that little teaser there, I hope it will spark your imagination. And we really, really want to get your feedback on what else you want us to improve on e-invoicing, making it work for you. All right. Please don't get confused with ChatGPT and our Evo. All right. ChatGPT is here and is also on the general ask of things, and you get a feedback, right? But Evo is actually linked to your database, is secure and governed by the permission granted to actually draw information from your database to address the questions that you put into Copilot. Then you get all those feedback there, only related to your database. You will not be able to see any other customer's database. So rest assured, it is safe and secure. All right, moving on to e-invoicing section, right? I want to cover with you lessons learned from phase 1 and 2, and for our coming phase 3 customers who are going to onboard soon, what is your checklist like for preparation and what to get ready. So moving on, next slide. Right. This is just to show you we have actually completed onboarding the phase 1 and phase 2 businesses, and currently we have more than 1,000 customers successfully on board for e-invoicing and daily submitting their invoices to LHDN for validation. Now, when we say over 1,000 here, it also means that because they onboarded to Workspace, actually Evo is already there. All right, so rest assured, we are all ready. It's just a matter of telling us your interest and setting it on. All right, and then of course, coming 1st July, phase 3 customers, this group of customers can actually start preparing. Now, do not think you have that 4 months to go before you actually go on board. Preparation should actually have begun long ago when we conducted all these webinars, even for phase 1 and 2 customers. Don't push it to the last minute. All right. So thank you to those who have acted fast and already registered, because our e-invoicing phase 3 onboarding will begin soon, right? And if you have yet to do so, please click on the QR code, register, and have a placeholder in the queue so that we can align all those onboarding process smoothly for you. Now, moving on. Right, lesson learned. Now, these are the common, I would say, challenges our customer face, even despite us bringing it up even before the phase 1 implementation. All right, you are using Access software as an intermediary party. So it is mandatory to set in your My Invoice portal Access software as the intermediary party. This is mandatory. Else you will need to have your own set of, secret key and then your own digital signature, all those requirements, right? And then, of course, to make sure you can successfully transmit your invoice, you need to have those mandatory requirements by LHDN set up right, in the configuration and the mapping side. Incomplete, you will always get return invalidated invoices. And then you start to panic. Okay, so to make sure you know where to set up all these things, of course, we have this knowledge, all this information on the LHDN side, you can get from the LHDN portal. And over on our side, you can always go to our knowledge base to access the information. And of course, we also provide you the e-invoicing quick guide to guide you along which setup that you need to go through to make sure it's all ready for your onboarding. All right. The current version that we have in the market now is actually version 2024.4 PU2. Now, it's on PU2 because as customer reported issues to us, we have been making updates, things like that, and push out all those resolutions to you. So improvement is ongoing. Please keep a lookout on the current version available in the market and make sure you updated it accordingly and you are on the latest version to enjoy seamless transmission of your e-invoice. Next. Now, when we mention about intermediary party, the reason why we say it's mandatory because you are tapping on the Access Client ID and digital certificate that is provided by Access Software. So make sure in your MyTax portal, you assign Access Software Sdn Bhd as your intermediary party correctly. All right, next. Now, this is the preparation checklist. We have gone through this. Those who have actually followed us from earlier webinar to today, this is sort of a repetitive slide. But for those who are going to be on board for phase 3, you may want to focus your attention now on this slide, what each setup means. Okay, for configuration, for mapping of data, and you have to turn on for customers. Now take note, why is there this turn on for customers? So any of your customers that require e-invoice, if you turn it on the outgoing dashboard, their invoices that you raise for them will be there for you to select to send off for validation. Those customers that do not require, you do not set them on, invoices you raise for them will be a normal invoice. It will not appear and then lengthen your list for selection. So you get a clean cut list for validation. All right. So access as intermediary. So prior to your onboarding, you may want to try it out in pre-production. So the setup is different. So please take note of this. In production, full name. In pre-production, they only pick up the first alphabet followed by the XXS behind as given by LHDN. So please take note. All right. If you assign wrongly, you may not be able to actually do your testing or do your transmission. Okay, next slide. Now, I want to share with you again because it is important. We have the phase 2 customer on board already. So one thing to take note is be cautious or mindful of the transactions that you are creating. All right. So you may have invoices raised to B2C, that is from your business to consumer in consumers, right? You may have business to business for local or business to business foreign. So each of these entail a different process because if it is to end consumer who doesn't have any business, they do not require e-invoice, it will still be your current existing normal invoice process flow, a normal invoice, right? But end of the day, of course, you being a e-invoice compliant, you must consolidate all these normal invoices into a consolidated invoice and submit to LHDN for validation, right? You do not need to have e-invoice individually for this in consumer. But for business to business, you need to have that invoices validated before you send to your customers. Clear on this? Now let's move to the purchase cycle. Right. Now, on the purchase side, of course, I split it into two sections here for your easy reference. All right. When you buy from your supplier, if it is a local supplier, right, then they will issue you a normal invoice if they are not e-invoice compliant, right? Or if they are e-invoice compliant, they will have to get their invoice validated before they send the PDF copy over to you, right? Then you just input it into the system for record. Now, foreign supplier or individual taxpayers, they are not registered business locally here, so they will just send you their normal invoice, or even for the individual, they may not have any invoice. They provide the service and you may issue a payment voucher to pay them for their service. Now, in either one of this scenario, you may have to enter the transactions into the system first, then you translate that into a self-built invoice and send it to LHDN for validation. Now, only validated invoice will be deemed appropriate or approved for your expense reporting in for your business, right? If it is not validated, maybe when your auditor do the audit, they will have to take that out and charge it out so that your expense become lesser because it's not an approved expense. So please do take note of all this cycle and the different type of invoices you are receiving from the supplier side. All right, next. Now, these are the top 6 FAQ that we receive in our daily support calls. We want to share it here so that you know where to go and look for help, self-serve on all this information that are made available to you. Of course, we do welcome you to make calls to us if need be, but as you know, if everybody start making calls, the queue may be long, you may not have the time, you need a reply urgently and answer urgently to resolve the challenges that you are facing. So if you can self-help, you may immediately get that answer there and move on with your work. So like the IAM icon missing after completing online update, we do have a guide there explaining why it happened, where you should go to set it on again. So managing consolidated invoice. So what are the restrictions there that are outlined by LHDN? File size, the number of transactions, all those things are listed there. All right, setting us up as the intermediary or incorrect display of QR code when previewing. We already have the guide there, or deleting a cancelled e-invoice from the system, what you should do, the proper steps, and also basic checks on e-invoicing error messages. Because sometimes it's too technical, what it means, we do have a list there to guide you accordingly. So moving on. Now, on 28th of December, LHDN actually made an update. Sad to say, it was uninformed. And with majority of the business, closed for the seasonal year celebration, for the year-end holiday, things like that, nobody took note of it until we have a customer who tested out or submitted and they hit into error. And when we call up LHDN, then we will inform or guided to where they make the changes. All right. They've actually published a new requirement for sole proprietor to allow them to submit invoices. All right. Of course, to do so, they actually make enhancement on that on behalf of field. Last time it was just the TIN number, but now for sole proprietor, it has to come with a combination of a TIN with the BRN number. All right. So you have to set it accordingly. Of course, this is a technical side of things. We have already done this and it was seamlessly rolled out. Nothing to do on your side. But what needs to be done on your side, especially the sole proprietor, in your My Invoice portal, when you set up the roles, responsibilities, you must set as business owner, not director or any other. All right? Because this is your own business, you are the business owner. So how LHDN is checking it is because you are holding the TIN number with the prefix IG, that is individual income tax number, right? So the PRN that follows, and they are able to check. So if you happen to tie an IG with a Sendram Berhad business registration number, it will not work, right? So please get it right. Now, next. I'm sharing again resources here where you can get help to any of your ask, right? If you want to know of the current version, go to the download page. You see it's already on 2024.4 PU2. So we have the quick guide there. Go to the help, you can get the quick guide. You can go to our knowledge base as well. Then checking on the e-invoicing error message, as I mentioned earlier. We have all our webinar recordings in case you need to revisit to get all your understanding checked again, right? And then, of course, FAQ, we have it there in our platform for you to check as well. Intermediary, I will set it up. Support contact, please reach out to us should you need any help. Okay, get advice from customer success. You can email to us, and also I'm also putting down here the LHDN video guide. They also actually cut it down into bite size to make sure you go through each of the process setup correctly. All right, so with this, I've come to the end for e-invoicing. So